Little Women was directed by Greta Gerwig and stars Saoirse Ronan, Emma Watson, Florence Pugh, and Eliza Scanlon as the four March sisters, and is based on the very famous novel by Louisa May Alcott, and is the story of these four women who are growing up, and it's talking about their years growing up and their sisterhood and the challenges they met as women in society and the different obstacles they've had to overcome. This is, of course, seen through the eyes of Jo March, who is essentially telling the story this time. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing more I can say. I find myself a little shorthanded with this review because pretty much everybody has had their say on this movie, so there's not more that I could possibly add to it beyond it's a really great movie, which yeah, that is unfortunate. I planned on seeing it much earlier. I was gonna originally see it in December. There was a screening lined up, but it got canceled due to the weather. It was pretty bad that day, and so because of that, and one of the screenings coincided with Star Wars. So I had to wait, and then I was out of town for the last few weeks, and now that I finally got back, I can talk about it. And yes, this is as lovely as everyone has said it is. It's a wonderful film, full with some brilliant performances. I think Saoirse Ronan is terrific, and so is Florence Pugh. And this might be some of her best work, and she's been rightfully given a lot of praise for it. I think she's done a magnificent job. And each of the actresses honestly plays off of each other really, really well. There's some wonderful sequences with just the four sisters sitting around and talking. And it's very charming and it's really sweetly done. And I think their relationships were handled beautifully. Emma Watson and Eliza Scanlon, too, did a really good job. But the focus is more on Jo and Amy. So it's really their stories. It's not so much the other sisters, even though Meg and Beth are major parts of the stories. And so is their mom, played by Laura Dern, and aunt, played by Meryl Streep. Everybody in the cast is great, but Greta Gerwig's direction is honestly terrific, and her writing. She's done a magnificent job with those things. The Oscar nominations dropped this morning, and Greta Gerwig was not nominated for Best Director. Simply put, well, that's dumb. I think with this and Lady Bird, she's really established herself as a wonderful director. So I'm really kind of wondering now in my head that what's it gonna take for her to get that nomination? Like, what is she gonna have to make? Does she like what's gonna happen? I don't know. It's just a really bizarre omission. I think she could have rightfully gotten nominated, actually. But that doesn't change the fact that she's done a brilliant job here, so awards be damned, honestly. Um, if after a while you're above those things. But she's done a really good job. The way the film is also filmed, the cinematography is beautiful, the score is wonderful. There has been some talk about the timeline stuff. The film does go back and forth a lot between the past and the present. And a lot of people found that to be very jarring and a bit too disconcerting. I wouldn't say it was that bad. I honestly was expecting a lot worse. I think Witcher is more messy in that regards. I'll talk more about that season one in a video very soon. I want to talk about that season. But on the other hand, I think the film sometimes stumbles in those things. Sometimes it's a bit too abrupt, the shifts, and it shifts back and forth fairly quickly without really giving us some time to focus on one time period. That is my one minor little flaw with this movie. The rest of it is honestly great, and it's as good as I've been told it was. And yeah, like I said, there's nothing more I can add to it beyond those pointers because most of you have seen this movie. And this is a pretty late review, so because of that, there's not much more I can add to it. I think it's a wonderful film. I think it really, if you've not seen it, please do check it out. I don't want to give too much away about the film. I mean, pretty sure everybody knows what it is because you read the books, read the books, and seen all sorts of adaptations. This one is definitely a very different adaptation of the story compared to the other ones. I would say this is maybe the most accomplished one that I can think of. And yeah, it should be checked out if you haven't seen it yet. I'm going to give Little Women a 9.5 out of 10. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Look forward to reviews for a lot of new movies coming up very soon. Let's get 2020 in a swing. As always, if you like this, please do subscribe. We'll see you guys at the movies.